Okay, today I want to talk about my right arm, my right shoulder, and my right hand. So, I posted earlier that I've been very quiet this week as I had a show on Friday and it was a really loud gypsy punk band that I've been playing with for maybe 4 years in total, but for the last 2 years during my life. I played with them when I was younger, in my 20s, and again the last year and a half to 2 years I've been playing with them as well. So this band play very fast music. It's got a drum kit, loud distortion guitar. It's as loud as it gets. It's a lot of fun, and I've traveled a lot with this band. I've had a great time. The reason I'm currently in Thailand is thanks to this band, and it's really opened the world up for me. At the same time, I have come to a undeniable realization recently, as the band took a hiatus for around 6 weeks to 2 months, and then we had our first gig in ages. In after that period the other day. So during those 6 weeks to 2 months, I was mainly working on a new project, which is acoustic. Quite a lot, practicing every day for, at least 2 to 4 hours on this project with my violin. I also sing in the project, but that's beside the point at the moment. And experiencing more or less perfectly pain-free shoulders during that period. I also stopped drinking alcohol as an experiment to see whether that would affect me in any way, and yeah, totally. So for me now, alcohol is not really worth it. I mean, obviously for special occasions, I might have a beer or something, but it's just not really, mainly doing that to not fit in, but just fit in basically. So yeah, I stopped drinking completely and noticed that my pain went away. So what is this pain? You might be asking, especially if you are new to this channel. You might not know anything about me, but I have been experiencing a little bit of nerve pain in my right arm since I first joined this band. It's like shooting pain. But then I moved into being very much a full-time musician, practicing 6 hours a day, playing gigs every night. But I guess I didn't really understand self-care when I was young. Only in my sort of mid-20s did I start to understand, my late 20s really. I'm 36 now, and I started doing yoga and stretching and understanding that I need to take care of my body. But by then a lot of the damage was done, as I've been playing violin since I was 7, and in school I remember having a lot of back pain, sort of skeletal problems. It would always feel like twinges under the shoulder blade and pain between the shoulder blades and that kind of stuff. But it was a different time, and I think I went to see a chiropractor once or twice, and he told me I should drink more alcohol, which at 17 wasn't the best advice. So I needed to let go and relax a bit more, but good lord. So, excuse the way I'm presented today. I've literally got out of bed and made this video. I just really feel like being myself, and I don't want to have a shower and make sure I look nice today. I just want to be who I am. So anyway, yeah, going back to that story. So yeah, I started to develop some pain, I would say, in the wrist. It felt like carpal tunnel pain when I was full-time wedding violining, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. And I noticed that I had more pain. At the time, I was in an abusive relationship, and when my partner at the time had been raging at me, I would feel pain. So there was a direct correlation between being around negativity and when the pain would come up. So I noticed that, but I thought as well maybe I was reading too many internet blogs about things like this and kind of didn't really take it too seriously. But that all came to a head in lockdown. My partner did actually seriously injure me. He was my husband, and he's not my husband anymore. But it meant that I couldn't play for 2.5 years. And what happened was, you see this door handle here? I was trying to pull that door shut whilst he was raging, and he went like that on the door as I was trying to hold the door handle, and the door handle itself, which wasn't this shape, it was a different shape, hit me in this part of my thumb base here, and I basically lost the ability to use my thumb for a good 6 months to a year. The full recovery process, I felt like I could play violin again around a 1.5 years later, when I decided to take my grade 8 exam, which I never took when I was younger because life. I very much took an independent route, but I decided to do it. I wanted to prove to myself, and I also had students studying for grade 7 by that point, so I thought I need to be able to know the syllabus in a way that I can teach it. So I took the exam and I could do it. But towards the exam, it's like, when I was practicing, I would say 3 to 4 hours a day. When I wasn't working full time, I would feel a bit more shoulder pain, but I could do it. So by that point, I was feeling pretty limber and fit as a violinist again, and I knew that with self-care, which I was doing a lot of, I talk a lot about self-care on this channel. There's a lot of videos where I go into detail about, the sort of stretches that I've done over the years to help me with this pain. Let me just briefly describe what it is. So, okay, I had this domestic violence injury, but even after that healed, I was still experiencing pain. So I wouldn't say it healed necessarily, but we're talking like a 1.5 years later, a year later. So during that 6 months to a year after the accident, I call it accident, it wasn't an accident, injury. It took me 6 months to leave my partner because it was lockdown and I couldn't afford to leave. I had some pets. I didn't want to leave them without me because at that point I didn't trust that he would take good care of them. So I was in a very toxic environment for a long time, where I was afraid. So I think what happened was I had frozen shoulder. So basically it kind of developed into chronic pain because I sat in the pain for so long. I wasn't able to see a doctor face to face for 6 months as well. And then when I finally managed to leave, after that, even though I wasn't really doing anything, I couldn't, it took a really long time for the injury to heal. Eventually I found a physiotherapist who had worked with violinists before, and she said that she's worked with punk rock violinists before as well, and he had an awful lot of problems in the right shoulder. So, I said, oh, that's funny, I did that when I was younger, so probably I've got some injuries. And she said, what you have here started in your childhood. Your shoulder has essentially moved forward, and the base of the two nerves here, radial and ulnar, were being crushed by the shoulder. So I had to physically move my shoulder back, which took quite a long time. Every day I had to do physio 6 times a day for 20 minutes a day for quite a few months. And it all involved moving the shoulder back and down because it had literally moved forward from having my arm forward with the bow. So when you bow, make sure that your shoulder's always relaxed, okay? I didn't know this when I was young. Nobody ever said this to me, and now I'm very conscious of it. So, bringing this story back to today, I nearly didn't accept moving to Thailand to join my old band again because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it, but I was all right for a while. However, I think, it's been nearly 2 years now, and I've had the opportunity recently to compare it to what it's like to play just acoustic music. And when I was during that break that I mentioned at the beginning, and I found that when I played acoustic music, there was no problem. So I'm understanding why, and there is a lesson in this. And somebody shared with me a story recently told to them by their teacher, which is, if you want to play music until you get old, you need to learn how to play without effort. So playing really fast, loud, gypsy punk music always requires you to overplay with the best will in the world. Even if you get the sound right on the stage, it's very hard just to relax and play with full awareness of your body, because there's so much going on all the time. So you're switching between pedals, you've got to dance, you've got to smile, you've got to remember all the entrances. So you do end up tensing the muscles, sometimes just to hear yourself on stage as well. So say if the guitar player is just slightly too loud, the frequencies are in the same region as the violin, the electric guitar, so it will drown out my sound. What I find helps is having a bass amp on stage. If you play violin in a rock band, have a bass amp. I discovered this a little too late, but the bass amp, I can hear myself. But when I come through the monitor, I just get completely drowned out by the guitar. These things really do matter. And if you are wanting to take the route as a punk rock violinist or something electric, you really need to make sure that you can hear yourself on stage, so that you don't overplay and treat it seriously, or you can end up like me. I know I had domestic violence injury as well, but my problems were very much twofold. So that injury, I guess, got me to pay attention, because it brought it into the forefront of my health concerns, so I had to. But yeah, I'm going to take a step down from playing loud punk music and just focus on acoustic and teaching and this channel again, because I want to play violin until I die. And I don't know when I'm going to die, but I want to be playing violin up until that point. So there you go. I'm going to stop now. My storage is low, and I think that's enough for today, but I'll talk about this issue more. Thank you for tolerating the delay in posting anything this week. I will get back into my routine soon once I feel that the pain is managed. I'm also going to talk about the things that I've discovered that help heal this pain too, but not today.